The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Pit Life BBQ podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnnie Mags.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life BBQ podcast, coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. What's up there, Chrissy?
What's up, Johnny? Another rainy summer day in Salem, New Hampshire.
Crazy, ain't it?
Just a little more sun would be great. I say that, and I just stopped peeling from an awful sunburn I got over the weekend. Last weekend. Yeah.
That's all right. Where'd you go to get a sunburn, or just anywhere?
I went to a music festival. Friends of mine, their band hosts it's called Trout Stock. They do it once a year. They had their third annual music festival 2 weekends ago. So the first 2 days, I stayed sunscreened up, and on the day as we're packing up, I'm like, I don't want to do sunscreen because I hate it and I don't like it. And, yeah, just burnt to a crisp. And everyone's like, you got tanned. I'm like, nope, that's just dead skin. And then it falls off, and then I'm pink again, and then I go back to being white. And I don't really tan a lot. But, that's just, I don't.
But you're from Australia.
I know.
It's like 8,000 degrees there.
I stay out of the sun. We're not friends. I just stay in the shade.
I'm a fan of the shade.
Yeah, I don't.
Fat guys in heat don't go well.
I don't do the sun. Yeah, I used to be a fat guy, so.
Just wait.
Yeah, I know. I knew what I was
comments are coming on that one. Nope. Let's see, Mrs. Mag, Tim Rogers, what's up? Can't wait to see you this weekend, brother. C-Mac, Matt Pereira, same to you. Couple days, boys. Chris Rosinski. Oh, all the boys. I'm going to be with most of the chat room all weekend.
It's so exciting.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Oh, man. So we're going to have some fun today.
Yes, we are.
So let's get right into it. Today's episode brought to you by
the number one best tasting shake on the planet, Uncle Steve's Shake. Uncle Steve's Shakes are handmade, hand-measured, hand-mixed, and hand-packed. Uncle Steve's Shake is made with the finest of ingredients and comes in 15 amazing flavors, including this year's additions, the CJ West Coast, the Texas Cajun, and the All-American SPG, which is no sugar, no MSG, vegan, and keto-friendly. It's so thoughtful of him to make one like that. No matter what you're eating, Uncle Steve has a shake for it. And don't forget, my personal favorite's not even a shake. It's all peppery barbecue goodness, the sauce with no name. If you have any questions, Uncle Steve has great customer service to help you with all your shake needs, because it's going to be him on the phone. Go to UncleSteveShake.com to order your shakes today. Also, while you're on that website, have a look around. You're going to find some fantastic tips and recipes to do with the shakes. You'll be amazed at just how versatile Uncle Steve's Shakes are. And while you're online, head on over to Facebook and join Uncle Steve's Shake Nation to stay up to date with all the latest creations made using Uncle Steve's Shake. Hey, maybe share some of your own even. It's time to step up your backyard barbecue and your competition barbecue game with Uncle Steve's Shakes. Uncle Steve's Shakes shakes them on everything.
Nice. Also brought to you by Two Guys Smoke Shop and TwoGuysCigars.com. Whether I'm barbecuing or not, I always keep the smoke rolling. Thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. Today I am smoking the La Giana Toro Maduro.
There you go.
Look at that burn.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. I get to smoke some of the best cigars in the world, and so can you. Just visit TwoGuysCigars.com for your perfect barbecue companion. That's the number 2, GuyCigars.com.
Today's show also brought to you by Magna Chef Gloves. Whether you're the family grill master or a professional pit master, quality tools make it easier for you to be your best at the grill. Longtime firefighter and founder of Magna Chef, Alan Fonte knows a thing or two about fire management. He designed the Magna Chef Gloves and the Freedom Barbecue Gloves for you to be able to get in and out of fast. With the magnetic swivel plates, you can easily slip in and out of these gloves. They're going to keep your hands cool and allow you to cook and grill safely. No more getting getting stuck in hot gloves. Depending on your glove preference, MagnaChef has two fantastic options for you. The first is the classic MagnaChef barbecue glove, as seen on screen here. It comes in 5 awesome colors. We've only got 3, but hey, that's okay. They're made of food-grain silicone, web fit for a firmer grip, dishwasher safe, one size fits all, heat rated up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. And your second option is the Freedom barbecue gloves. It's a more traditional 5-finger, flexible and pliable grip, 14-inch long cuff to protect your forearms, made of heat-resistant neoprene, heat rated up to 932 degrees Fahrenheit. These gloves help extend your time over that fire. Both styles of MagnaChef gloves are great for barbecue and kitchen use. Head on over to magnachef.com today. That's MAGNE chef.com today and order yourself a pair of each. And at the checkout, make sure you use the promo code FreedomLives for 10% off your order. MagnaChef barbecue gloves, master the fire. Freedom barbecue gloves, take a stand, free your hand.
Also brought to you by CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. Ian Hemming out of Magnolia, Texas, is building what I consider and call the Yeti of cutting boards. These boards are damn near indestructible. Mm-hmm. They take an absolute beating, and I will have them with me this weekend because it's been raining, so I'm not taking any chances. Mm-hmm. So we have the dishwasher board, which is your standard countertop size board. Have the massive 18 by 36 inch brisket board. And we got the pizza board for that perfect even slice every time. UV protected, the rubber nubs on the bottom, so even on the wet surface, the board will not slide on you. Nope. The deep lip reservoir, catch all that juicy goodness. Multiple colors in color combinations available. Engraving available. Just go check them out at CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. That's the letter R, us.com. Heidi, what's up, darling? I'm so excited to see you this weekend. Dave LeConte, what's up? Big Kano, my brother, what's going on? Big Kano, I got a La Gianna Maduro today. Clarence Joseph, CJ, what's happening? Has what's going on? Gray Reiner, Tim, Chris, all the boys. Yeah, we're gonna have a great. Doug Peterson, what's happening? We're gonna have a great time this weekend up in Maine at the Cora Cares comp. So I'll be getting there probably early, noontime-ish on Friday. Set up and let the good times roll, as we say. Oh, yeah. Till we gotta start taking care of business on early Sunday morning. Daddy Dutch, what's up? So let's get right into it without any further ado. I'm so glad to have my good, dear friend joining us again. He has been a busy boy, and we're going to get right down to everything he's got his hands going in now. Ladies and gentlemen, from Texas Style BBQ and Cuisine, and also the Big Sexy Barbecue Society, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Chef Johnnie Stewart. Chef, what's happening, brother?
Hey, buddy, how you doing today? It's a great day in Texas. It's a nice, cool day. We only hit about 106 down here, so we got. Well, I think we got a norther blowing in or something.
Yeah, you guys have been living on the surface of the sun lately.
I got in my truck about a week ago, 5:30 in the afternoon, and my truck's at 121.
Yeah, I saw that post. I'm like, oh my God. I'm lucky I come down there in February and October.
yeah, without a doubt. But other than that, it's been great. We got school going again, so I've got classroom full of kids, and they always keep me busy. So we're rolling our new year around, and a few projects going on, and that's it, man. We're just day in the life of a chef.
Molding the minds, the future culinary minds. I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm assuming the coffee shop is still up and running this year?
Coffee shop is not open yet. It is. In fact, we got our milk in today. So as we're rolling things along, the coffee shop will probably be open Thursday morning for the first day. So we open. It opens 8 to 9:30, and then it's open at lunchtime. And it's going to be good. We're going to start bringing some people in from outside. We've kind of held off on that for a while simply because of things going on at schools. But we think we got the logistics right. So the outside will be able to come in, pick up their lattes and their coffees and a pastry, and then head off to work. So the kids are going to be busy taking care of the coffee shop and cooking pastries. So
nice. A little expanding. All right, I got a big question right off the bat for you, Chef. What do you have on CMAC? You got some good dirt on CMAC. What's up with the water in Texas? How does Chef keep getting younger and more handsome? You got to have some type of dirt on that big boy.
I sent him cash for that nice statement on me. Is what it is.
Sweet.
You know, I had another trip around the system the other day. Hit 61 last month, so it hasn't been. I'm not quite a month into being 61, but I guess my 60s are being good to me.
There you go. There's Uncle Steve. And Fernando's joining us, Chef.
Fernando Falan, is that who it is?
That's who it is. I believe your cousin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, one of my old teammates and my cousin. He was good enough to marry into the family. We let him in, and him and I did a whole lot of cook-offs together, and we anyways, no, they don't come any better than Fernando. Glad he made it in here.
Beautiful. Uncle Steve, my man. Steve, did you get my message? I left you a voice message last night. Thank you for what you did. I appreciate that. That's going to be great. So, Chef, you've been a busy boy. We talked a couple weeks ago on my ride home and was catching up on everything. But you want to start right with the Texas beef, or you want the different ranches?
Well, we can talk to Texas Beef Council.
Sure.
Yeah, they got hold of me a couple of weeks ago, and if you're not, I guess if you're not from Texas, you're not familiar with them, and I guess some here aren't either. But what they do is they help promote beef in the state of Texas. So they not only do they deal with the marketing of the meat, they work with marketing of the cattle, research. You go to their website, it's beeflovingtexas.com. Get recipes, get ideas. They got their hands in a lot, but their sole job is to promote beef in the state of Texas and Texas beef, Texas raised beef. So they work from the ranchers to the people cooking, the whole process of promoting it. They're up in Austin, so good people up there. I know a few people. I've been to their office up there in Austin, but they do a whole lot for beef in the state of Texas.
Beautiful. So they reached out to you for some recipes?
Right. So what they did is they were going to have the ultimate beef-loving Texan, I think is what they're calling it. But they reached out to me and said, hey, we saw you on social media. And I do tag them a lot in my beef post. So I'm always tagging, beef-loving Texans, hashtagging beef-loving chefs. And so those both, those are always getting out there. And so they got hold of me and said, hey, we're going to have a little contest. Would you submit 3 recipes to us? And we'll see what we like and get back with you and tell you what we'd like you to cook for us. So I submitted 3 recipes to them. I turned in an Akushi brisket. I turned in a pan-seared ribeye with a bourbon pan sauce. And then I turned in the beef tenderloin jalapeno poppers. So those were the 3 I submitted to them for review. They picked the poppers and got back with me and said, will you do a short 60-second video on this, which is new to me. Now, I've done some reels and stuff, just kind of put together, but never going in there going, hey, I'm going to do a reel or I'm going to do a TikTok. This is my first time to really go in there and go, oh, I'm going to do a short form video. So that was kind of new. In fact, on YouTube, that's the first short I've ever done.
It was.
You click on my shorts, there's one. I guess because I'm long-winded, right? I can't say what I want to in 60 seconds.
But yeah, those poppers, they looked fantastic. So now, how long is the contest went live yesterday?
10 days. So it's going to the 23rd. So everybody on here, and I've hit, New England Pit Masters, Texas barbecue chapter, people like that I've got things in there on. And you can go to beeflovingtexas.com, and it's right at the top. But yeah, there's 7 people, and I'm the littlest Instagram on there. I got, 2,700 followers on Instagram, and one of them has over 100,000. So I'm pulling out all the stops. My kids get A's if they vote for me, stuff like that, to see if I can get some votes to catch up with it. I think the smallest one I looked at was 19,000. So I was by far the smallest Instagrammer. Now, YouTube-wise, I got a lot of followers.
Yeah.
When we opened the coffee shop, my YouTube slowed down. I wasn't posting every week. So my views on YouTube have really dropped, because if you're not posting every week, they're not promoting you.
Yeah.
And so everything kind of dropped off. And this spring, I started posting again every week. So I've been going every week through the summer, but I still haven't picked up all the views I was getting on YouTube as before, just because I drink black coffee. I didn't drink a latte. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what a frappe was or a cappuccino, or, go down the list, a mocha latte with, whatever. So I had a big learning curve, and then I had to teach the kids and had to get recipes up for the pastries and all kinds of stuff. So it took a lot of my time, and so my YouTube suffered from that. But we're coming back around, and it'll pick up, and we'll see how I do in the next about 8 days in this contest. But I guess I got a good shot as any. You can't ever tell if we get people out there. The right person shares it. You never know.
Oh, that's for sure. As long as you got a seat at the table, you still got a chance. So.
Well, so there's 7 of us. If I hit the top 2, I'll get invited to a head-to-head cook-off up in Austin. It's in September. We'll go up there and we'll go head-to-head against somebody if I'm in the top 2, and then the winner of that gets crowned the ultimate beef-loving Texan for the next year. And we will do a video a month for them for the next 12 months. And I'm sure there'll be some other things going on.
Oh, that's cool.
With that. But I think my recipe is the best recipe of all the 7.
Yeah.
I'm not prejudiced or anything, but it was a pretty freaking good recipe. And I looked at the other ones. I think I got the best one.
Yeah, I checked out a couple of them. I got to go back and check out the rest tonight, but, I'm a little biased personally. So, Jim, what's happening? Dan Kimball, what's up, brother? Can't wait to see you this weekend. Michael Goff, my brother, what's happening, brother? Mad Max calling you out, brother. Ken, what's going on? So, you've been doing, you went on a little bit of a tear on,
you can say that, right?
on experimenting, or if you will, but more so head-to-head of the different ranches now that have gotten into, selling retail or
farm to table type deal.
Yeah,
right.
farm to table to consumer. And, some have been doing it for a while, and really nobody outside of Texas really knew, or some have just got into the game themselves. One in particular I know you've been trying is the 4 Sixes Ranch in Texas, which folks know it's not just a ranch that was on a television show. It is a real working ranch, real cattle, real cowboys, the whole 9, not just a counterpart to Yellowstone. The 4 Sixes Ranch in Texas. You've gotten some product from. Tell us about their stuff and a few of the others you've been working with, and your comparisons between them.
We'll do that. I did just put the link in, guys, so it's in the chat where you can go vote. And if y'all will share that around, that'll take you right to the Texas Beef Council's website. So that's in the link of the Facebook chat. All right. But yeah, what I did was since Yellowstone, when Beth got on there and goes, hey, these people down there in Texas are selling meat. Hey, Daddy, we're doing the wrong thing. Instead of selling cows, let's sell meat.
Yeah.
And of course, he's like, no, honey, we're ranchers. We're not, Anyways, I thought, you know what? It may not be bad to do some videos with the 4.6s. And I tell you, the other one that kind of beat me to the trigger on that I saw was Fire and Water, Darren.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of their meetup. And so really him and I right now are the only two that are really putting up 4.6s stuff. So what I did was I talked to a buddy of mine. They gave you free shipping if it was over $150. So I was going to order $150 from them and, and get a variety and do some videos. And Jeff is a super guy, y'all. He does the closing on all my videos. It's the Swenson wagon.
Yeah.
And that's been my closing for years since I put it on there. But Jeff is a cowboy singer, cowboy preacher. Does a lot of cowboy rodeos and does the churches, church rodeo and stuff. And him and I have been friends since 1980 when we started college together. And anyways, I was telling Jeff what I was going to do because he's friends with some people up on the 6s. I know some people from the 6s. It's up going toward the Panhandle, the top of Texas. And it was a Burke Burnett ranch. So it's started like in the 1800s, right? So it's been around a long time, very well established ranch. And he goes, hey, did you know the Morehouses are selling beef also? And I was like, well, no, I didn't. And I've met Tom Morehouse, I've met Bob Morehouse and them from the Morehouse Ranch, which isn't near the size but they're really good people. He said, hey, well, why don't you order some meat from them also? So I kind of took that money I was going to spend, went two directions with it. And I got some ribeyes in for the 6s. I got some in for the Morehouse. I did a standalone ribeye for the 6s, a standalone ribeye for the Morehouse Ranch. And then I came back and did a head-to-head 6s against the Morehouse. And both of them were excellent. Had a little hiccup with the 6s, and they were trying to make it up when I was like, hey, guys, my first steak got here thawed out. Now, that day was like 110 in Texas, right? So, they did ship it in here, and it was FedExed in, and box was wet, box was tore open. So they apologized and immediately shipped me out 2 more ribeyes, and got those in, and the box was thawed again. And so this time I called them, and I got a really nice lady. Their customer service was tremendous. She said, hey, sorry, chef, she goes, are the steaks thawed? And I was like, hadn't even tried. Box was wet, tore open. I called. Haven't even reached in the box yet. So I reached in the box. They have a really nice packaging. It's like a bag you would take to your local grocery store for frozen food.
Yeah.
Not a big one, but they put it in that with dry ice, pack it away, insulated, and they were hard as rocks. So the steaks were good the second time. But they were like, hey, sorry, we want to make it up to you. We're going to send you a care package. So then they sent me a box of beef that had a pound of their ground meat is prime rib, ground prime rib. So they sent me a pound of hamburger meat. They sent me 2 prime tenderloins, 5 ounce, 2 choice tenderloins, 8 ounce, 2 more ribeyes, 2 strip steaks. So they sent me a nice deal to say, we're sorry, right? And of course, they knew I was probably doing videos with it, and they didn't want me to dog them too bad. So I wound up with a whole stack of meat from them. From the Morehouses, I ordered the ribeyes from them. They had outer skirts. If you're dealing with skirt steaks or fajitas, if you don't know, the outer skirt is the primo. That's what we used to get years ago when fajitas first showed up in Texas. And now there's so many of them. They're shipped out so much that you see the inner skirt. And so they have the outer skirt. So I ordered 3 pounds of those, and they threw me in a strip loin. And so anyways, Morehouse has shipped theirs out, came in great. And so I've been kind of tearing up through those. I've got over half of that meat recorded already. I've only got, maybe a half dozen of videos. And this popper video was probably the 5th video I've done on those two. And then I had another ranch. And then, like I said, I tag everything Beef Loving Texas, right? So Average Farms, which is a coochie raiser out in West Texas, they got hold of me and said, hey, we see you're doing these videos for these other ranches. Will you do some videos for us if we send you some meat? I was like, sure.
Why not?
So they sent me a coochie brisket and 2 12-ounce fillets. So I've got probably 20 videos in the works of Texas raised. And then I do have some Texas raised on there because I had worked with Chapman Cattle Company, 3C Cattle Company, and you may have seen some of they not only do beef now, they're doing pork. Probably the best pork chops I ever ate was from them. Big old thick center cut chops I did. And they're doing chickens now too, and I've done some chicken videos for them. So I had worked with Chapman before on Texas, basically ranch to table. And now I'm working with the Sixes, working with the Morehouses, and working with Average Farms. Now the Sixes and the Morehouses, I've bought everything from them other than, hey, we're sorry, here's some things to try. But they're not sponsoring me anyways. But I've ate some really good steaks. And I'll shut up so you can talk. Here we go.
That's all right. Oh, we got the other CJ. What's up, brother? The CJ's West Coast Shake CJ is in the house.
Mr. Volkman.
That's Mr. Volkman. That's right. Big Hurt Special. What's up, brother? Stephen Darlene, what's going on? Little Schmitty, what's going on, brother? So, was there a really big difference between the ranches? Maybe they feed a little different, or
there is a little bit. The aging's probably a little different. Average Farms, which I haven't tried their steaks yet. Their Akushi is what I tried. They're dry aged for 28 days.
Okay.
The Morehouse and the Sixes are dry aged for 3 to 4 weeks, so they're in that same time frame. The interesting thing is this: the Morehouse meat all comes off the Morehouse Ranch. They're there. They get them processed, and it's in Texas, processed Texas from Texas. The Sixes doesn't all come from the Sixes. They also get meat from what they call like-minded raisers. So someone that has the same philosophy of raising meat that they do, and their meat isn't necessarily even from the States. If they sell you meat, now the girl I dealt with, Karen was her name. She was lovely, very good to deal with. She said most of their meat is, and that's where they try to stay. But if you have cattle, if you get meat from the Sixes, they've been in the States for at least 100 days. So basically, they're pulling grass-fed beef from somewhere else, and they're finishing them out for 100 days on grain here.
Okay.
Because they're all grass-raised, right, grain finished. Is hey, you got a big sexy T-shirt on today too.
You just noticing that?
Man. Big Sexy Barbecue Society.
You know
for
it.
For the large boys, we can probably come up with some of those T-shirts if somebody wants them. But yeah, that's on Facebook.
Hell yeah. So that's interesting that they almost partner up with different ranches, like you were saying, that have the same belief system and raise in the same way.
And it made it be a volume thing for them. The Sixes have a big name with Yellowstone being such a big show. I'm thinking they probably were like, yeah, we can't keep up with just our meat. We're going to have to branch out. The Laura and Gage Morehouse, which are Tom's the guy that owns it, Tom Morehouse, and it's his son and daughter-in-law. And they were doing like half cows, quarter cows, and selling things like that. So they've just kind of started branching off into the individual steaks and things like that. So it's a little different for them. They're kind of wetting their toes in it. Average Farms is a little bit, Average Farms has their own processing plant now with them. Amanda Average, I've dealt with her. She was very pleasant to deal with. And actually, when we got to talking, there's friends of ours that buy meat from her and live out there close to them in West Texas where their cattle's getting raised. But they've got that Akushi. They're a Akushi Angus cross. to call it a cushy, it's got to be at least 50%. So they're running a 50-50 cross of Black Angus and a cushy.
Okay.
And that was a great brisket. So the people I've dealt with, Mark Chapman, who's up at around Hyco, Texas, not as far out as those other ones, a little more north central, I would call him. They're coming everything off their farm, and they're putting their cattle out, and they went out for their pork and chicken, I think. But Chapman's have some great meat products too, and I got quite a few videos from Chapman's and Mark Chapman. They were great to deal with, and still are, But there's some good people that are trying to market their beef, cut out that middleman, and get rid of some of these big packers. People don't realize, some of the big packers aren't what they used to be, And so by going this way, it helps the ranchers out. And that's something that the Texas Beef Council does, is help them to market their beef on the open market, and people are learning how to do it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It helps out. In fact, Average Farms, I think, is doing things besides meat. I think they've got other things that they're putting out. They're a pretty big operation. I've just started dealing with them and just met them, so I don't know all their details yet.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Greg DiGiorgio, the barbecue broker. What's up, my man? Junior, what's going on? Big Salinas Barbecue in the house. So that was great to find out all that. And like I said, we've been talking about it, so I had a little, head start on everybody. But I was interested to see if there were any slight differences you found. But all in all, looks like all quality products.
Oh yeah, I haven't got anything bad from either one. The ribeyes I got in, the sixes were a little bit thinner. They had said 1.25 inches, but they were really about a 1 inch cut. They were about 14 ounces, and the Morehouse was about a 16 ounce, and they were a good 1.25 inch cut. And in the head-to-head, I ought to not tell anyone to make them go watch the video, see which one won, right?
That's right. That's right. But, they are great videos.
So the Morehouse, me and Libby and John all tasted and all agreed the Morehouse was the better steak that day. I think it's probably one of those on any given day, which one are you tasting at the time? But I think the thickness helped, especially when you got out of that rib cap or the spinalis into the main body of that ribeye. That thicker steak was just a little more moist. They were both medium rare, great flavor, tender. I have, no gripes at all on either one. Now, the big difference is those ribeyes from the sixes were $40 a piece. I ordered 2, and they had a discount there around the 4th of July. If you put in Celebrate, I think it was 20% off. So I got those for 20% off. So I want to say they were like $64, something like that, or whatever, the 15%, whatever it was. And so I got 2 for $64, and the Morehouses were $30 a piece. So, it was a $30 steak versus a $40 steak. So the price difference was a little different. I thought their fajitas they were like 12 something a pound, which now fajitas down here are, you're going to pay, $8 a pound for them anyways.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't that much more, and you were getting the outer skirt, which is much better than the inside skirt. You're going to go down and get it at HEB.
Oh, I love me some HEB, that's for sure. I've decided we need to start a petition to get an HEB, a Buc-ee's, and an Academy Sports up here in New England.
In New Hampshire?
New Hampshire. We'll keep it up in New Hampshire. For sure. But we got another competition coming up this weekend, which we're about, if we call today pretty much over, we got about 48 hours till load-in day on Friday. So we're looking forward to it. So with everything, that goes on with the cook-offs, cooking on the side is also another thing. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit because you're my resident expert on Dutch oven cooking. And we haven't talked Dutch oven cooking in a while on the show, if ever. I think I would have only covered it really with you on an occasion or two. But obviously we're all out at the sites and everyone's got the fires going and everything. So, a Dutch oven, you can throw right on the coals. You can throw it right in the smoker itself. What are some of the good keys and tips to Dutch oven, cooking with a Dutch oven?
I would say one thing is, of course, the key to any of the live fire cooking is heat management, right? On a Dutch oven, though, when you start placing your coals, I recommend this. I tell people to start off with charcoal and then go to live coal, because it gives you an idea of, you can count coals and get a little better idea of what's going on. But don't put heat in the middle of your pan. If you put the heat all the way to the middle of that Dutch oven, and we're talking a camp oven, so it's got feet on it, right? Mm-hmm. And if you put the coals in the middle, you get a real hot spot, you're going to burn in the middle. So you put your coals around the outer edge, and it radiates to the middle and doesn't burn. And then the top, same way, they're lined around the outside and rotate every 15 minutes. The bottom rotates, clockwise, and the lid rotates counterclockwise, so that they're always moving around each other. But it's like barbecue. It's that heat maintenance. But if you keep the coals from the center, you're going to find out it's a whole lot better. Finishing up something like a dessert or something, it's great sometimes to take all the heat off the bottom, move it to the side, leave your heat on the top, and let it finish baking that way. My Jack Daniel's Peach Cobbler was entered in 4 cook-offs. It won 3. It came in second once. So it's a pretty dang good recipe.
It is.
The time it came in second, I think they were crazy. But it's a tremendous, and it's a winner every time. I've won with a bourbon sauced bread pudding. A little tougher to do. So the Jack Daniel's is proven and it's easier. So I kind of got where, when I was still going to cook-offs, if it had a dessert division, it was Jack Daniel's Peach Cobbler every time, and it proved to win. I had a friend one time that had his wife did some great peach turnovers. Ooh. And so I was like, golly, Kathy, these things are tremendous. They were just great. I was like, man, you're going to win. You're going to win dessert. She says, you think I'll beat you? And I'm like, oh, yeah, you've got this hands down. So anyways, they got called for second, right? And they called me for first. And as I'm walking up, I hear her holler, it was the Jack Daniels. It probably was the deal. But my greatest story on the Jack Daniels is this. We're serving it on the barbecue trailer all the time as our dessert. And I would normally do it. And when Libby first started doing it, she had cooked it some, but not a lot. And somebody bought a cobbler, and they were like, man, that's got a lot of whiskey in it. I go, nah, not much, just third cup, And then here in a little bit, somebody goes, man, there's a lot of whiskey in that cobbler. And I'm like, nah, third cup, not much. And so this is getting said a few times, and I'm like, that's weird. I taste this cobbler, and I'm like, holy cow. And I look at Libby, and I go, honey, how much Jack Daniels did you put in that cobbler? She goes, just like you do. I put in 2 cups. So after that, I tell people, don't open this on the car on the way home.
No, you take those 2 cups, you put a third of a cup in the cobbler, and you take the rest in the cup on the side.
Consumption, yeah. So, it was a little strong that day on Jack Daniels.
Yeah. Judge, what's happening? JB, my brother, what's going on? Greg, Sean, what's happening? But like I said, with the cook-offs, preparation is the key to, a successful cook. Did I even say that? Was that even a fucking word?
Nope.
Thank you.
We know what you meant, though.
Thank you. We got my official New England translator right here, Chef Johnnie. Preparation's key to a successful cook.
There you go.
And, especially if we're going to be out in the campground or site for, a few days, with the Dutch oven, you can prepare ahead of time. You've done some great, and I've tried them out. You've done some great pasta dishes where
Yes.
you have.
I love pasta. And what I do with my pasta, and that's probably what you're alluding to, I'll cook my pasta before I go camping. Like we're going out camping and we're taking it. So, and I might even brown my meat, right? So that I can come back in, throw them together. And you want to you don't want to cook that pasta all the way to tender. You're going to leave it al dente, right? So you want a little firm.
Yeah.
So that it'll finish cooking in the pot. But yeah, pre-cook that, you can, there's a lot of things you can do at a cook-off or camping, either one, that can make it a lot easier because you don't want to spend your whole time, if you're out camping, you don't want to spend your whole time prepping.
Yeah.
Kind of the same way, when you're doing your Dutch oven cooking. So, I try to get as much done before I could go as I could. Our injections for our briskets were made before we went. Everything's labeled, everything's in there. We knew what was there, what's this, what's that. And we showed them. When Fernando and I would go, we had a system and we stayed sober. Where you'd go to the chef's meeting, you'd go, don't worry about them, don't worry about them, don't worry about them. You'd pull out all the drunks real quick. And they weren't going to be real big because they're all drunk. They're going to miss their times, right? Especially if you start cooking hot and fast.
Yeah.
You gotta be on top of it, and you need to be sober to do it. So we did it like a business, and we prepped all we could before. Back then, you couldn't always do a trimmed brisket before. You had to wait till you got there. Nowadays, guys are trimming their briskets and vacuum sealing them and taking them up there. But back in those days, you didn't do it that way because I haven't cooked off much in quite a while. But it's just get everything ready you can, and in your Dutch oven, it's the same way. If you're going to get, whether you're cooking off or camping, get everything done before you go that you can do before you go, so you enjoy your time there.
Now, there was you had told me of it's really a math problem or equation to figure out the coals. And it had a lot to base off of whatever cast iron you're using, the number on the lid.
Right,
so
right.
If there was a 10 or 12.
If we got a number 10 Dutch oven, if it's a baker, if it's the low one, not the tall one, right? Tall one's a little different, but the low one, the number 10 is about 4 inches high. Double the size of your Dutch oven, okay? And that's going to give you around. So that's 10, right? And you got a 10 inch. We double it. That's 20, and then add 2. And that's going to give you around 325. And then if you want to add another 50 degrees, add 2 more. So you're going to double it plus 2 plus 2. And I put 2/3 on top, 1/3 on bottom.
Yeah.
That way you got to protect that bottom, and that's what's going to get the hottest on you. So that's the math equation. And then, the wind's a factor. If you got a breeze blowing that, and it's coming from the left, your right side's going to be hotter. Right? Because it's stoking your fire and getting it hot, from the middle over. The left side's going to be cooler, right side's going to be hotter. That's why that rotation and things like that and being careful on that hotter side is important. Yeah.
And like I said, I was thinking about possibly bringing this and playing around and doing a couple things. Like I said, the pasta dish was extremely easy, but like you said, you had prepared it already. You had the 3/4 way cooked pasta. You had already browned the meat, and you were just really adding it and really, basically heating it up and finishing it off. Mm-hmm. But as we're about to, there's JB. You got to show up prepared, show up, and only have to inject and cook. Yeah, that's what it's come down to now. That they changed the rules, and like tomorrow I'm going to be trimming my chicken and my brisket, and my pork is already done. My ribs, take the membrane off, a little cut here and there. I can do that. I do that on site. But yeah, preparation ready to go. Vacuum seal it and. Makes it a lot easier. You can concentrate a little bit more on finer details. But as we're going to roll this up, still on live fire cooking, and like you said, you were a black coffee man. There's nothing like I like more than a nice cup of coffee. Got the pot rolling on the coals. I put it on the grate to begin with on the grill side of the smoker, and it just was taking forever. I just took the grate off, put it right in the coals. What is the key to a great cowboy coffee or campfire coffee if someone's using one of the older style camping pots?
Especially if it's a boiler. My deal is when I've got some videos on cowboy coffee, a few of them. But what I do is I like to let it boil and roll. I think it gets rid of some of the acidity in it when it does that. But you got to get it down close to your fire. So you got to get that pot down there, get it boiling, then you can lift it up and let it, slow down a little bit. But yeah, let it boil for a little bit. Don't pull it off too quick. I've got a percolator I use a lot. That's a campfire percolator, but I let it perk for a while too. I think as that water goes through there, it gives you a good. If you're there's a lot of tricks for using an old boiler that they will tell you put a stick over it, the grounds will fall. People would drop eggs in there and do that, and you're like, no, I haven't figured that one out yet. But pouring cold water in the top, pour it in the spout, pour it on the top. And that'll push those grounds to the bottom. Yeah. And then you can pour some good coffee off the top and get you a good coffee.
Yeah. And
I don't do a real fine grind on that either. I leave it a little coarser when I'm doing a cowboy coffee.
Yeah. And I actually used that cold water trick before I got the the campsite coffee pot. During the winter we lose power a lot. And I have a gas stove, so I can light the stove and cook with it. But with the power off, the coffee machine doesn't work. And Mrs. Maggs gets angry when the coffee machine does not work, as do I. But so I'm like, all right, we're going to put some tips from Chef to the trick. Literally got a saucepan, put water in it, put the grounds right in, fired put the gas on, lit the stove real quick, and did that, and it started boiling and rolling, and okay. And she goes, "How are we gonna get the grounds?" She's looking for like a cheesecloth or a thing. Yeah. I'm like, hold on, we're gonna put a trick. So I grabbed the Yeti of cold water, and I held the pot and I poured it in there, and then I poured. And it works. The grounds go straight to the bottom of the pot, and the coffee just poured beautifully. It was a great trick, but yeah. So a little Dutch oven cooking possibly this weekend up at the comp. Would definitely have my coffee rolling every morning, and afternoon and evening. And yeah. So Chef, you just posted the link again. But there's also, if you go to your Facebook page, I know, and you've shared it to a bunch of the groups, but in the description there, you had the link. You just click right there and it brings you right to it.
And if you go to my Instagram and YouTube, well, Instagram is Texas Style Cuisine. YouTube is Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine. It's my only short, and there's a link there with it. And if you go to Instagram, you go to my bio, and there's a link. There's two links in there, and one of them says "Vote for Texas Style Cuisine." Hit that; it'll take you to the Texas Beef Council site. Go vote now, and I think you might even be able to do it daily. So yeah, and I think you can do it like on YouTube and on Instagram both.
Oh, okay.
So I had kids today vote on Instagram, vote on YouTube, and they just went the link direct to the link and voted a third time.
Oh, beautiful! So hit them all.
Yeah, my students were racking up the A's today, buddy.
Hey, any way to get a good A, that's fine.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. But Chef, it was great talking with you, my brother. It's great catching up with you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for your time. Hang in there 1 second. I'll jump right back in with you. I'll just close this out. Awesome, Chrissy.
Wealth of knowledge.
Chef's the best. Yeah. I absolutely love Chef. We've literally spent hours on the phone, And, anytime I have a question or anything, I call him right up. Mr. Maggs, what's up? Chef, I need your insight. Teach me. And, always willing to answer any questions, give me tips that I might need. Such a great guy. The entire family. I've met Miss Libby for the first time back in Houston in February, which was wonderful, and looking forward to seeing them again this year. Yeah. But yeah, we got the comp this weekend, boys. Won't be long now. We're gonna have a good old time up there, up in Hiram, Maine. The weather looks beautiful. Looks like a little rain maybe on Friday during load-in, but the rest of the weekend looks beautiful. Mid to high 70s. Nice. Some sun.
Not too much.
I don't want to curse anything, so I'm going to stop right there. But, boys, can't wait to catch up with you. We'll have a couple beverages, some laughs. We'll find some time, maybe on Friday. We'll do a couple, quick little interviews, introductions of the different teams, and get some content out on Friday after setup while everyone's rolling around waiting for everybody. But that's it.
That's it.
That's it for this week, folks. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You have all the episodes right at your fingertips. Find all the social media links listed down below. Questions or comments, please send them to Pit Life BBQ Podcast at gmail.com. Like always, subscribe, rate, and review. Hit that share button. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.